Hello there. Are you by any chance working on a screenplay for a new super awesome story? Well, I think that you're in the right place. Because today, we're going to be giving out 5 screenwriting tips to help you on your next story. My name is Taylor Coleman. I'm your humble host. I am the CEO, lead writer, director, and producer at Crystal Ignition LLC. We are a small independent film and video production company located in Jacksonville, Florida. And on this channel, we give out filmmaking commentary with a little bit of gaming sprinkled in. So, without further ado, let's roll the intro. And when we come back, we'll get started. Welcome back. So, like we do on all of our videos, we're going to start at number 5 and then work our way up to advice that you probably are not going to hear anywhere else. So, let's start with number 5. It's going to be to spend time pondering the idea for your story. So, if you're like me, when you get an idea for a new film or a new screenplay or whatever, it comes on in your head, kind of like something on TV or in a theater, and you sit back and you watch it, and then you work to put it out there on paper. But sometimes you run into a problem or a roadblock. You might not know how to end your story, or a part in the middle might seem kind of wonky. It might not fit in with the scene that you originally imagined. So you run into issues, and ultimately for some people, they scrap the idea entirely and move on to something else. Don't do that. If you can, I recommend spending as much time with your idea as possible in your head. Daydreaming, kind of like you were when you were a kid, turning it over and over and over again. And eventually, you're going to come up with new ideas that you never thought that you could come up with. Your experiences in life are going to give you fuel to fuel your imagination. So keep turning that idea over and over again in your head, and don't just scrap the idea. Keep it with you. Number 4 on the list. Number 4 on the list is going to be to keep a notepad with you at all times. So, raise your hand if you've ever been at work or at school or at an event, and you get an idea for a really good story, and then you have no way of writing it down. So you say to yourself, I'm going to write it down when I get home. But you get home and the idea is gone, and then you feel really bad. I've had this happen before. One solution is to always keep a notepad or some way of writing down your ideas with you at all times. There are phone apps that you can use. You can also even record voice notes. So I highly recommend that you always keep a way of writing your ideas down somewhere nearby, somewhere on you at all times. So number 3 on the list. Number 3 on the list is going to be to read screenplays. So if you go online, you can usually find free downloads of screenplays from all of your favorite movies. For me personally, one of my favorite screenplays is the screenplay for Casino Royale 2006 with Daniel Craig. Now, here's a warning for all of you new screenwriters out there. These screenplays are usually put into production format, so they might have little numbers next to the scene headings. When you write your script, don't format it like that. That's something that studios do when they're ready, when they've already greenlit the story and they're ready to go out and shoot it. That's improper formatting. But do take note of the way that the writer describes things in their story. It's the way that they write their dialogue. It's going to help you with your writing. It might even give you ideas for things that you can do in your script. That doesn't mean copying their story or stealing their intellectual property, but definitely read other scripts. It's going to help you be a better writer and potentially give you ideas for things that you can do in your next story. Alright guys, so before we move on to our final 2 screenwriting tips, I want to take a moment to talk about one of our affiliates. As you know, Crystal Ignition LLC is partnered with over 10 different brands in the film industry. I care about every last one of them, but for my commentary videos, one in particular stands out to me, and that is Books A Million. Books A Million is one of the largest book retailers in the United States of America. I love their website. They have amazing deals. They have a number of stores in Florida, and I shop there all the time. They are not paying me to say that. A lot of the books that we mention in our book of the month, my personal copies, I have purchased from Books A Million. So head on over to Books A Million. Check out their selection of books. They have coupons, 10-15% off for your first purchase. You spin like a little wheel on their website. It's really cool. And if you want to know our book of the month for July, the link is in the description below so that you can read it. Alright guys, so now that brings us to number 2. Number 2 on the list is going to be learn how to use note cards. I'm going to say it again, learn how to use note cards. So, if you've ever studied screenwriting and you've read a number of books or articles on it, you might come across a lot of the different methods. A classic one is going to be the Dan Harmon story circle, but the one I want to focus on today is going to be the save the cat structure. Now, the save the cat structure requires you to have 40 note cards. They're very cheap. You can get them for 50-60 cents at your local supermarket. And what you're going to do is at the top of the card, you write down what the scene is supposed to be for. So maybe the meet with the mentor part or the call to adventure part. And then below that, you're going to write a paragraph that explains what's happening in that scene. The reason why you want to do this is so that when you start writing your script and you get stuck, you can always refer back to your note cards, or if something's not working, you can go to your note cards, you could change it and see how it fits in with all the other cards. And it gives you a semi-visible structure of what your screenplay is going to look like when it's finished. So learn how to use note cards. They're really helpful. Alright guys, so moving on to number 1. Last but not least, it's going to be learn to set aside time every single day to work on your screenplay. For many of us, for whatever reason, we always think that we have to watch another YouTube video, read another book, or go to another forum and talk to someone and ask them what their opinion is, and we forget the most important part, which is to actually start writing our screenplay. Remember, you can't please everyone. There's always going to be someone that doesn't like something that you wrote, or thinks that your movies are bad, or your screenplays and your stories are bad. And that's just a constant, no matter where you are in your career. The only thing that you can do is write your screenplays, write them as good as you can, and finish it. And for all of you that are writing, I promise you, when you finish your screenplay, you're going to be so excited, and I'm proud of you already, even if no one else is. Alright guys, that's going to take us to the end of the video. So if you enjoyed this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, dislike the video. I wish you the best of luck with your screenplays in the future. I already know that it's going to be amazing, whatever you write. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.